Hey ladies, what's up? It's Brittany here, back with another episode of the Lady Strong Fitcast. And on today's episode, we're going to be talking all about how to read your InBody scan.
So the big question is this: how were two women who didn't cheat and purchase a gym franchise model, how were they able to spread their mission and purpose by empowering and transforming hundreds of women's lives through fitness, nutrition, mindset, and accountability with a micro gym business model of women only? That is the question, and this podcast will give you the answer. We are Lady Strong Fitness.
Hey ladies, what's up? It's Brittany back again with another episode of the Lady Strong Fitcast. It is June. It is a new month. We are halfway through the year. Now is a time to really reevaluate your goals. Right now is really a good time to reevaluate where you were at the beginning of the year, where you are now, and where you want to be in the next 6 months. And one really awesome way to be able to do that, especially here at Lady Strong Fitness, is through an InBody scan. So if you have not had an InBody scan done yet, I highly recommend having an InBody scan done, because the mirror, the scale, all of those things can tell us what's going on the outside, right? The mirror tells us what the physical changes we're having. The scale tells us what kind of weight changes we're having, but your InBody scan tells us what's going on the inside of your body. And then obviously the mirror and the scale tells us what's going on the outside, right? So I want to walk through how to read your InBody scan and what some of these numbers mean for you, so that you have a really good understanding of when you get your InBody scan done, you know what this stuff means. Also, if you already have an InBody scan done or you had one done recently and you're just uncertain about what's going on the piece of paper, I am going to go over this with you. Now, obviously, you're not going to be able to see this too close, but I will review the numbers with you. So first and foremost at the top, you're going to have your total amount of water in your body for dry lean mass, body fat mass, and weight. So total body water, dry lean mass, body fat mass, and weight. So total body water, dry lean mass, and body fat mass all make up your weight, right? So those three things make up the weight that shows on the scale. So total body water is the total amount of water in your body. You want that number to be about 50% of your total weight, okay? So if you weigh 150 pounds, 75 pounds of it should come from water, okay? So if it's less than 50%, you aren't hydrated enough. If it's over 50%, as long as it's not too far over 50%, you're good. If it's too far over, you could be retaining water, and there could be some other things going on. So you want it to be about 50% of your weight, of your total weight. Next is dry lean mass. So dry lean mass is for building muscles and strengthening your bones, okay? So this is the actual muscle mass that is on your body, right? So the muscle mass, this stuff helps bone density. It also helps building strength and those kinds of things. So in this one, in this particular InBody scan, there's 35 pounds of dry lean mass, okay? And this will actually, we'll talk a little bit more about that as we get to the middle. But the third number that makes up your weight is body fat mass, and this is actually the pounds of fat that you're carrying around in your body, right? This is the excess storage of fat or energy that you are carrying around on your body, okay? All those three numbers make up your weight, okay? Now, if you get to the middle, you're gonna look at the muscle fat analysis. Now, this is my favorite part of this because it gives you a little graph, okay? You'll notice on this graph, in the first piece here, there's a down arrow, there's a slash, and then there's an up arrow. The down arrow is below average. The slash is average, which is where you want to be, and that's it's a little bit darker gray. And then the up side of everything is higher than normal, is above average, right? So you've got your weight, your skeletal muscle mass, and your body fat mass, okay? What you want to see on this graph, there's three different kinds of curves you could see on this middle graph. There's an I curve, a C curve, and a D curve. Many of our ladies are seeing C curves, which is where your body fat mass, or your weight, and your body fat mass are higher than the skeletal muscle mass, right? So it makes this C curve, right? That means we don't have a lot of muscle, we have more fat and weight on our body, okay? Ideally, you want a D curve. What that is your weight and your body fat are lower and your muscle mass is higher, right? So we're looking for that D curve, or even an I curve in the average range is good too. But you want to look at where your average ranges are and where you fall on that and what your curve looks like, because we are aiming to either have an I curve in the average ranges or a D curve where our skeletal muscle mass goes above and our body weight and our fat mass stays below, okay? So that's that one. The obesity analysis is just your BMI and your percent of body fat. This is just telling you BMI takes into account your height and your weight. That's it, right? I'm not a huge fan of BMI because you could have an above average BMI, but just actually have more muscle mass than you actually do fat. But muscle is going to still make you have weight on your body. So if you were going to stand on a scale, like look at Arnold Schwarzenegger. His BMI is probably higher than normal, but he's pure muscle. So you just have to kind of take that stuff into consideration when it comes to BMI. And then also your percent of body fat. And this, again, this lovely bar graph is going to give you what your average ranges are based on your height, your weight, and your age. Okay, so in this one, this InBody scan is a little bit above, both of those, a little bit above the average, but we're pretty close to the average range on this one. So you want to take a look at this, and this will tell you if you're below average, in the middle, or above average on those two numbers, okay? Now, on the top, on my left-hand side, but your right-hand side, there is a spot here that says body fat minus lean body mass, or body fat and lean body mass control. A lot of people, what they look at this number and they go, oh my gosh, I have to lose 15 pounds, or oh my gosh, I have to lose 30 pounds. No, you don't have to do that. But what this is telling you is some of that could come from weight loss, some of it could come from muscle gain, right? So it could be a combination of both, but we're just looking at the fact that body fat mass, your body fat mass, right? The pounds of fat that you have on your body needs to be decreased either by gaining more muscle or losing weight. It could be done either way. That doesn't mean you have to lose that much weight, okay? So don't think that. It's just you either have to lose some body fat or gain some muscle or do both, right? The other thing is your lean body mass pounds. So this one says here that there's 129 pounds out of 183 pounds of actual lean body mass. When we look at lean body mass, that's not just muscle mass. That's organs, tissue, skin, muscle, all that stuff. That makes up lean body mass. And then you have fat mass, right? So there is a little bit of a difference between lean body mass and dry or skeletal muscle mass. There's two differences. Skeletal muscle mass is just pure muscle. The lean body mass is muscle plus tissue plus organs and all those things, okay? Below that, you have your basal metabolic rate. Now, this is one of my favorite things to look at, and this is actually what I'm going to end this talk with, because I think this is really important. So your BMR is your basal metabolic rate. What that tells you is that is the rate, that is the amount of calories your body burns just living every day. That's just your, like, thermogenically what your body needs to actually just survive on a day-to-day basis. Now, if you look at that gives you a really good benchmark on how many calories you should be eating in a day. So this one has 1,635 calories in it. So my first question to you would be, are you eating that many calories a day? And if you are not, you're actually harming, or you could potentially be decreasing the amount of calories that you're burning in a day, especially if you're under eating. If you're under eating, what your body starts to do is it goes into a starvation mode and it starts burning less calories per day because it's conserving energy, which means it's working against you and not for you. That's why we always tell the ladies that come into Lady Strong that you have to make sure that you're eating for the amount of work that you're doing. If you're not eating for the amount of work or energy that your body is expending, you're actually ruining or harming your metabolism, and it could be actually decreasing your basal metabolic rate. You want a high basal metabolic rate because that means your body is more efficient at burning calories, which means it needs more energy to fuel itself for the work that you're asking it to do. Also, when you increase your muscle mass and you decrease your body fat, naturally your body or your BMR will be higher because muscle does need more energy than fat stores do. So BMR is so important to really make sure that you're tracking your calories, you're understanding the energy that you're putting inside of your body and the energy that you're expending it, and that you're not expending more than you're giving it, right? Because if you're expending more than you're giving it and you're not giving it very much, your body is going to start to go backwards and it will start to work against you and not for you. So that's just a couple really cool tips on the InBody scan. And the bottom, to finish this up in the bottom, it will give you a little bar graph as you start to go through your InBody scans to tell you if you're going up and down on your weight, your skeletal muscle mass, and your percent of body fat. Ladies, if you have not gotten your InBody scan done recently or you've never had one done, I highly recommend stopping at the front desk and getting one scheduled, because this stuff really will help you get on track for the goals for the rest of your year. Remember, there's 6 months left in 2021. What are you going to do with them? We hope that you're going to smash your goals, and we're here to help. If you have any questions, make sure you let us know. If not, have an awesome rest of your day, and we'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Thanks for joining us today. If you like this episode, subscribe to our YouTube channel or find our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or whatever your favorite place is to listen to podcasts. And if you really liked this episode, please leave a review for us on iTunes. Thanks, and we'll see you next week.